Good morning, welcome back to Rusty Judgment.
We're out at the farmhouse today and we're gonna do a little treasure hunting to see if we can find some doors and windows that fit this house so we don't have to spend a lot of money on them.
Yes, we're also gonna look for, measure out the vanity and see if we need a vanity. Because we're gonna paint this place today and get some flooring in and
It's gonna be beautiful.
Make
it's gonna look so good.
Make it better.
Don't try this at home.
This is going on Rusty Judgment.
Yeah.
Oh yes, thank you for wiping your feet.
I don't think it smells as bad as Tom makes it out to be.
What says the woman who hasn't...
It smells like an old closed up house.
This is, however, coming from the woman who has not spent much time in this house.
All right, so here in the kitchen, we've still been trying to figure out what we want to do for a layout.
Correct.
And if we would want to replace, this window has to be replaced.
Yes.
Would we put a patio door in there or just replace the window? Or there were some good ideas too about would you move the stove and the fridge over there?
Right.
So we kind of want to just brainstorm quick before we go buy doors and windows today.
All right, so we're talking about moving this over. Oh, no. So guys, these are reasons why you get a pre-inspection when you buy a property.
What do you see?
Because junk like that is a massive fire hazard. It's just the wires wound together. There's not even wire nuts on it. So luckily, Tom and Dawn did not get an inspection for any property we own to date.
That's true, actually.
But I can fix that. That is definitely not safe though. And y'all will agree with me.
Here, let me back up, Tom, because one idea was that this could actually get torn out because it's a closet and chimney. Is that what it is?
Yes, this can get torn out. Yes, the chimney can get routed out the side of the house. So it won't go out here anymore. It's just a metal duct chimney. It's not concrete.
Yeah.
And then this can all go away. So we could get rid of all this.
And then the table could go over there. And then where I'm standing, we could move, because the stove and fridge was where Tom is, and that's like kind of a long ways.
It is actually a long ways away from the rest of the kitchen.
So I'm gonna come over by you.
Yeah. So what if,
So it would be shortening up, putting a smaller window or no window here? That's what I'm,
I don't know that, so look at, I don't know that you want to do no window there.
No.
What if you do the fridge right here?
Okay.
Leave that window, do the fridge tight next to it, and then the stove here. Like extend it out a little bit, not a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of kills all your countertop space, but then you do a little island here. Like you wanted, remember? You wanted an island.
I do want an island.
You do a little island, and then that space is all bigger. But then you still get kind of a funky space there and a funky space there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Then we have to go back to, it's a rental property. How much do we actually want to modify?
I know. Because the easiest would just be to put the stove and fridge back over here, fix the wiring, and then we had talked about putting a patio door where this window is.
Yeah.
Because this is really cool. Like, if you could walk out here. Yeah, there's an outlet and a vent there.
And probably more things hiding within this wall that will make it difficult.
So we should probably just put a window back in.
But we did talk about, yes, putting a patio door there.
Just because, like, if you have pets, there's no good way to get, like, if you're going to let a dog out or...
Well, we're letting pet people rent from
If they're
here?
going to have horses, they're probably going to have a dog. Like, I don't know.
Oh, Dawn.
I don't know. Well, okay. So there were windows stacked up in the barn we saw the first time we came.
Yeah, let's...
If there's a, should we do it as a sign? If there's a window that fits this spot, we'll just put a window back in. If not, maybe we'll look for a patio door at BMO.
Sure, I agree with that.
When we're at the building material outlet, we're gonna look for a new vanity for here as well.
Correct. Because this one's like ultra low, which I think they're higher nowadays.
It's like my height.
It's super low. It's like my knee depth.
Yeah.
So this is 42 inches wide
Okay.
which is standard width.
Oh, good.
We have the tub and the surround for there.
Call it good.
All good then, right?
Yep. That light picture is kind of cool. You know me. Isn't that kind of cool? Yeah. I mean, it gives off like hardly any light at all, but it's kind of cool.
Okay. Not any more pleasant in the wintertime. Okay, so first off, these windows have been installed.
Okay. How about this one in front here?
I know, hold on. You gotta watch for critters. You can't just walk up on a pile of stuff, Dawn. That window is way too narrow
deep.
than what?
Yeah.
66 wide by 42. That's way small compared to
Yeah,
what-
they were all like 50 some high. All right. I
Or
think we're just
42.
gonna be
42,
looking for
66.
new ones, huh?
Yeah, these.
How about those ones down on the end? Do you see those down there?
Are you making me walk through in here?
They don't look very tall though either.
Oh, these are literally like inserts
Oh, okay.
for a frame that doesn't exist.
Okay.
Oh,
Yeah, these are just old windows that someone already
Yeah.
took out. Okay. Well.
well, we're not getting our money back in this barn. At least not down here, maybe upstairs.
We are at the Building Material Outlet Center in Eagan, Minnesota. In the past, when we'd come here, it was pretty much guaranteed we could find windows and everything we needed for our projects. All the windows in our house and the office building are from here.
Mm-hmm.
These days,
Since 2020, I think they got cleaned out because people were home and doing
Yeah.
home projects.
Mhm.
And then inventory didn't replenish. We
So-
haven't been here in a while successfully.
yeah, so hopefully, for sure, we should be able to find a vanity, but windows, we'll just have to see what we can find.
Yep. Yeah, that's the same height as the one that's in there.
Okay, is that other one we were looking at, was that one taller?
Right? So we can measure it.
Okay.
This will be a super low vanity too.
Okay.
There she is.
All right. Cheapest one we could find here. Good job. So we got the vanity, now we're looking for a kitchen window.
75 by 55.
All right. They've got a lot of stock in right now.
All right, so here's what we found for windows at the material outlet. So this is that's bathroom window. That's the end of the kitchen. Like this one back here. This one's the kitchen window, which I wonder if this is a mistake, because that's a really wide center section. You actually lose a lot of glass. So I'm wondering if it's a mistake to put that window in or not, but I think we're probably still going to. That's the one that'll go in it. And then this guy is the kitchen window we're replacing. This will replace the duct tape window. Look at that. Isn't that crazy? So 73 by 55, 150 bucks. Brand new window. With screens and all. Kind of wild.
So we had a pretty good look at the Building Material Outlet Center.
We did, actually. Now they're filling back up with inventory, which is fantastic because then we, having multiple houses that need windows, and us also being frugal individuals, like every window in our house is from there.
Yeah.
And the office and the shop.
And so we were able to get a vanity and then also the windows for the kitchen and a front door. And then we had gone back and forth too if we would do like granite or a solid surface in the bathroom.
Right. We did contemplate that. And then we decided, nah, it's not worth it. I want to say that that top was like $500.
Yeah, which for like the house you're living in, that's a good deal. Actually, it's not bad.
I think I always have to remind myself too, we don't have granite in our own home. If
Yeah.
we don't have granite in our own home, we're not buying it to put into rental properties.
Okay, but wait, Tom. Why are you doing all this work on the main level when you're still planning to jack up the house, lift it up, and make the basement ceilings taller why would you do all this work now and risk it getting cracked up and ruined?
Because it's cold out and it's warm in this house.
It's freezing outside, like literally below freezing outside right now.
We want spring to come, but it's not. We've had blizzards, we've had more snow, we've had freezing and wind, and the exterior surrounding this house is like all ice. Like for some reason, it like the way the weather pattern has gone this year, if you didn't plow it really well, which obviously I didn't plow around the house really good, it's ice underneath. And so like even installing these windows isn't gonna be fun because we're gonna be walking on ice.
Yeah, and so as soon as you go to lift it up, you're gonna have to disconnect the power and the water, and so then that's exposing the whole basement as well as this main level here to all the cold weather and everything.
Yeah,
too.
and so we already have one home that has no heat or electricity. I don't wanna have a second home that has no heat or electricity.
Yeah, so your hope is to get as much done on the main level while you can. And then once it warms up just a little bit, even like 30 degrees is way warmer than like 4 degrees outside.
Yes, so my thought is let's get as much done upstairs as we can, even if that means that we have some cracking and have to fix some drywall work. I'm hoping that doesn't happen because this house won't travel down the road like the moved-in house, because the moved-in house cracked like crazy. But so my hope is that by them just lifting it straight up and straight down, that it has very minimal damage. And then we're okay with doing all the remodeling we're doing up here now. It's just getting us further ahead for when the house gets set back down on its elevated level from where it will be.
Yeah.
So that's my thought process. I don't like being cold. I don't know why I live in Minnesota, but I do. My wife doesn't want to leave the state, so I'm trying to play with the cards I got.
And here you are seeing us painting with the kids too. The color we're painting is called Locally Sewn by Magnolia Homes. It's our new favorite color, and we're putting it everywhere. It's in our own house, it's in our office building, it's in this house, and it'll be in the crack house. Did we decide on a name for that house?
The cracked house.
The cracked house.
And by like you just said, so by it's our new favorite color. It's been our favorite color for a long time because that's what we put in our house years ago. And we've just decided that moving forward with rental properties, let's make them simple, put the same finishes everywhere.
Yep.
So if we need to touch something up, we just know, yep, we got the paint color because it's in all of them.
And we mentioned in the Facebook Live that you did earlier this week that like we're paying the kids to work in here. Chores at home we don't pay them for, but when they're working here, they are getting paid a little bit.
They are, yes.
There's some grumbling, some fighting, but we are just determined that our kids will know how to do these skills. So this is a great practice run for them.
Yes, agreed.
All right, so lest we paint too rosy of a picture about painting with 6 people, what did you do with the younger 3, Tom?
Still unpacking. I took him down to your parents' house.
So we did good for a couple hours, but then it was time to
There was just too many cooks in the kitchen.
Yep. So Tom's painting the ceiling now, which is looking really
actually
good.
looks beautiful.
If you notice, it has like a pink tint. We always use the ceiling paint that goes on a little bit pink so you can see where you've been, but it's gonna look really nice. And then Adeline is working on edging the second coat, and I was rolling the second coat, and we'll have this room done in no time. Doesn't it look nice, Tom?
It does look really nice.
Yeah.
And it doesn't smell like something we're just gonna not talk about anymore. Alright, so these are the windows that are coming out. So they're just old storm windows. They're all rotten, so I can push all the way through them. That's through the storm window, which is to be expected. So we're gonna peel off the trim, pull the windows out, reframe in the new ones, and then flash trim them out all these. These ones aren't as bad. This is the duct tape one here. And then this one here is the bathroom window. I think over time we'll do them all, but right now we're just gonna do these ones because it's what we got. While I'm waiting for my brother-in-law Ben, I'm gonna get everything set up and start ripping off the trim on the inside. Probably start peeling the trim on the outside off. And then he should be here by then. All right, I'm second guessing myself again. I did already mention I wasn't sure if I was making a mistake here. I'm really wondering. So it's a nicer window, obviously, but you have less window to look out of. I wonder if I'm just overthinking it. All right, I will check back with you guys. I'm not sure if I'm gonna install this window there. All right, while I wait for my brother-in-law to get here, I'm tearing off the outside trim and the inside trim. So I'm gonna do this one next. I got the inside trim off of all the windows. And then I'm looking at this one because I'm gonna do the same here. And remember we got rot here, right? So you put your finger through it all the way around here too, right? So it's all rotted. And I'm looking at it, I'm like, oh man, that roof line doesn't have near big enough of a kick out. And I'm sure over the course of 60 to 80 years, however long this house has been here, these are the original windows, so no one's ever taken these out, that it's just had a lot of water and ice run down this edge on it. So I'm kind of anticipating to find some water damage behind here, judging by that the trim's gone. And there's not even silicone or anything to protect it. Now you can see what it would be like with a huge window there. That's awesome. I think everyone wants a jumbo window in front of their sink. But we're gonna put that little guy in there. It's all right. It'll be fine. The problem that I'm seeing, I gotta frame it narrower, but I can't go a lot higher because it hits the soffit. So I'm gonna have to bring it down, I think, a little bit. Maybe not. Maybe I just need to narrow it. I'm gonna do some measuring, some cutting, and I'm gonna fit this window in there.
So you actually called me then and were like, is this window gonna look ridiculous here? Like, did I mess up? Did we get one that's not gonna be a good fit? Are we cutting down the glass too much? You were really like torn about that window.
Why is that, Dawn?
I don't know, but I'm like, Tom, just put the window in. It's fine.
Alrighty, ooh, we're getting dripped down off the roof. I think we're ready for a test fit. I've got this filled in both sides, and then I added a 1/2-inch piece of plywood to give me my sheeting thickness, so it's all the same level all the way around. I cut this down for the flange, cut that out for the flange up there. So the window's in there. I'm gonna go grab it, walk it around and test fit it, and then I'll probably just tack a nail in it so that it doesn't fall out. My brother-in-law's still not here yet, so I might just tack this one in place just to cover the hole, and then wait for him to come, and then we'll tape. Let me get off the air conditioner. Yeah, we'll tape the sill, silicone the flange, and then nail it all in permanently. I did cut my hand with a razor blade. I don't have any bandages. Like, I don't have any Band-Aids anywhere. I do have window flashing tape and some Kleenex, so I use that, made myself a little bandage. It is working well. That window's just sitting in there. I could just push it out, but I'm gonna wait for Ben because I can't lift the new one to go in there by myself. And then this one is ready to get pushed out too, so I'll probably push this one out and get the frame ready just like the other one is, so when he gets here we can put him in permanently.
You know, we're just walking that line of like, it is a rental. We want it to be nice and efficient, but there is a line where it's like, we just got to put the window in. So even then, the bigger like picture window you're putting in.
So that's something I didn't mention. So the bigger window was $150 for a 73 by 55 window. It's beautiful. It has screens. It's really high quality. I didn't want to buy it because it has brown exterior.
It's like tan. Brown is an overstatement.
It's not white, is my point.
Right. So they had one other window the same size that would fit this opening there, like in the whole store.
Right.
And also $150.
Yeah.
It was nowhere near the quality
It
of
was,
this window.
let's just say, it was a Geldwin window. So Geldwin is Menards' kind of like standard run-of-the-mill brand. And so it was not a high quality window, I believe is what Dawn meant to
That's
say.
okay.
This one is very nice
So-
and extremely heavy. I about broke my back lifting this in. I actually slipped on the ice carrying it and legit hurt my back.
I'm sorry. So I thought it was worth the trade-off of it not having a white exterior for it to be, it's white on the inside. I don't think a lot of people are gonna look at the back of the house. And it's a very high quality window and it was only $150.
So have you guys noticed something? This is how things are rationalized. Dawn is cheap.
Yes.
Like Dawn is the minimal mom,
amazing.
but beyond that, Dawn is cheap.
I still want good quality though, I just want it to be inexpensive.
Right, and she would rather have stuff mismatch and have really good quality and just be like, who cares about aesthetics? Let's go for function. So we have a brown window.
Does it bother you a lot?
I would not have bought this window.
Wow, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
What would this window have cost if we would have bought a replacement window this size?
$2,000.
What?
$1,500.
That
I
was
would-
10% of the price.
I would say between $1,500 and $2,000. Dawn and
I will live with brown
Sorry.
all day long for
Don't-
that difference in price.
Do you remember? So we've lived in our home, our personal residence. We lived there for 7 years. We got a quote about 6 years ago from Pella for replacement windows, all the same size. I said, you know, if plus or minus an inch, don't worry about it. Give me nominal sizes with a nail-on flange, just all white vinyl.
You installing them?
Me install them. You just make them, deliver them. How much would that be? Do you remember how much that quote was?
$10,000.
It was $20,000, Dawn.
Oh, I thought it was 10.
No, it was $20,000. And I asked that man to kindly leave my home.
Okay, so for $150 for a very good quality window, can you put up with a little brown on the outside for a house you're not going to live in?
Oh no, for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. I mean, I obviously it didn't
You installed
actually
it.
it didn't actually bother me. I bought it and installed it, so it didn't really bother me that much. But all right, we have that window installed, that window installed, and this guy installed. They look really nice. Now we've got a window for here in the bathroom. So I'm gonna rip the trim off here. Ben is ripping the trim off the outside, and then we're gonna pop this guy out. All right, day 2 back out here at the farmhouse. We've got the windows installed yesterday. We are going to spray foam around them, insulate them out, and then now we are going to, the goal for the day is, because I only have my brother-in-law for today and then he's got to head back north. Replace this door with a new door, trim out the outside of it, and then trim out the exterior on all the windows, and then silicone seal them so that the exterior is completely finished. Hey Ben, your back looks all wet.
Yeah,
Why is that?
it's spring.
It's spring. You getting dripped on from the roof all day?
It's so pleasant. It's just
All right, so we have trimmed out the siding 3.5 inches around all the windows, and then we are gonna put in some vinyl stripping to trim them out, and then we'll silicone all the edges. At least they'll all look the same, except for the brown window. Oh yeah, that's an ugly door there.
So people often ask, Tom, how did you learn how to do all these things? Because I was watching you put in the door a lot of video, but I was thinking.
She was nowhere near you when we
No,
put the
I was
door
thinking,
in.
how many doors have you installed? You've installed a lot of doors now.
I've installed a lot of windows too.
Well, right, but it's exterior doors.
I'm sorry, are you asking me how many have I done or how did I learn how to do it?
Both questions, please.
Trial and error is the answer. And how many?
20?
A lot.
Yeah.
A
Anyway,
lot. Some doors did not open and close super great,
you learn.
but I learned.
And we don't live in those houses
Oh,
anymore.
here's something actually funny. So, Dad, if you're watching, This is not a rip on you. If that's the way you perceive it, I apologize. That's not my intention. So do you remember our first house that we bought?
Yep.
We renovated the whole thing. I asked my dad to install the front door because I think I was doing something in the kitchen.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I can do the front door. He shimmed it, he got it all good. And then I had spray foam to spray around the door to insulate it. And I had doors and windows spray foam and great stuff spray foam. So I guess I didn't realize he didn't know the difference. And so he grabbed just the great stuff and he sprayed the jam all around, and when it expanded, you could not open the door.
Yeah.
And so if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's spray foam in a can. It's kind of what you use to go like in the small gap around your windows and doors. Mm-hmm. You can also fill holes with it, but that is a different product. Yeah. That product expands and actually expands so strongly, it applies pressure to where you spray it. The doors and windows stuff does not apply pressure, which is why it's for doors and windows. Mm-hmm. So it won't put pressure on the windows, because if you do it in windows, the windows won't open and close. Yeah. Because it will put so much pressure on the casing that they're stuck, just like a door. It squeezes in on it.
Yeah, because I was going to say, your dad is actually very particular. So
he's
that
very
is
particular
like
and
right
very
up his
thorough.
alley, but that would make sense. So
right.
What did you end up doing with the door?
No, dude, my dad's fantastic. So then he was like, oh shoot, I didn't know that. He took a sheetrock saw. I remember I had a sheetrock saw, and because it hardens fairly fast. He cut it all out and like peeled all of it out and then resprayed it with doors and windows, and that door was fine forever. Isn't that funny?
Well, never make that mistake.
Thanks for doing that, by the way, Dad. And then we have a beautiful new front door. It is actually really beautiful. Looks way better than the one that was on there. The white trim looks better too. So our plan is with this house is we'll replace all the windows eventually, and then we'll trim them all in white, just like we're doing the back side of the house. This spring we're gonna paint the soffits white, and then we're gonna paint the house siding a color. Have not decided on that color yet, but that's kind of what we're thinking so far. It'll look nice.
I don't know what to tell him what to do, but you know, it is mid-March now, and so we are feeling some pressure to get this wrapped up, get it lifted up, get the basement going, especially knowing that we still have to do something with the shed. And as soon as it gets nice out, we want to be putting like fences in and getting the pasture ready to go. So I think we're starting to feel now a little bit of pressure, and like it is kind of crunch time. So I am glad Tom and Ben got so much done here on the main level, and new windows make such a big difference. It looks so good. So it really is starting to come together, but there's a lot of work still to do too.
All right, I'm here. Where'd the boss go? Ready to do some work today. Oh, hey, how's it going? Hey, you're the better looking boss. How you doing?
Would you put in a brown window for $150?
I'd put in whatever you asked me to.